So today I have a 214-mile drive from Yosemite to Lake Tahoe, but there's no rush, which means I get to stop at scenery like this. This is from top of one of the passes, going through. Just beautiful. And the smoke, even though there is smoke and haze, it's not too bad. Anyway, that's it for now. Another stop for a cup of coffee and to enjoy the view on the drive from Yosemite to Lake Tahoe. This time I'm about an hour out of Lake Tahoe, and I've stopped in the El Dorado forest at an overview. What better place to have a cup of coffee than this? So, it's just after 1 p.m. I've arrived at my campsite at Lake Tahoe, which is a resort town. I'm only going to be here for one night, but it is a pretty nice campground. I've got the vehicle set up, that cable, that's my electric cable. The site does not have water or sewage connection, but I have, I've got water on the cab, and also to that building behind there, those are public, the restroom, not public restrooms, restrooms for the people here at the campsite. The campsite is pretty big, each person's area. It's kind of standard that at a campsite you'll get a picnic table, you'll get a barbecue and a fire pit, but this is pretty big for one site. Which means it's nice because it means you're not on top of your neighbors. Okay, time to go exploring. So there is my campsite, and it is just across the lake, across the road from Lake Tahoe. And there's a walking path here that leads down to shops, restaurants, etc. So I've been on the road for a week. I have not had a takeout, I've not eaten in a restaurant or anything like that. So this evening I am treating myself to dinner in an Indian restaurant. I am so excited about this. To solve my conscience, I walked here. It was 1.3 miles here. It'll be 1.3 miles back to the campground, but it's all good. I'm looking forward to it. So, this morning I left Lake Tahoe and California, and I am now in Nevada. Just above the little town of Austin, Nevada, not to be confused with Austin, Texas. Austin, Nevada has a population of about 100. Its heyday was as a mining town in the 1890s. And I'm about to examine Stokes Castle. But in the meantime, I do that, take a look at the scenery and see how different it is. This is desert. This is so different from California. Just the other side of this hill down below is a little town. I'll get some footage of that later. But the reason I'm up here is to visit, take a look at this structure. I'll get better shots, better light from the other side, which is called Stokes Castle. According to the woman in the museum, Stokes was a mining magnate and the entrance to his mines are just behind this, and he built it so that he could live here and keep an eye on who was coming in and out of his mines. Well, he moved here with his wife, and this is the middle of the desert, and they lasted here, they survived here 2 months. After it was finished, they lived here for 2 months and decided that was not on, and moved away. And it's been deserted ever since. I'm staying overnight in this town, the town of Austin, Nevada, population 100 people. In the 1890s, in its heyday as a mining town, there were about 10,000 people here. It had a little bit of a revival during World War II when they mined minerals, but now it's just a stop on Highway 50, which goes from California in the east through Nevada. Highway 50 also has the reputation of being the loneliest highway in America. And it was certainly long straight lines, 200 miles or 320 kilometers from Lake Tahoe to get here. And I'm sleeping at a campsite which is on the grounds of and owned by the Baptist church. But apparently they're very friendly, so it should be fine. More to come a little later. So I hope you can hear me with the wind blowing, but this is the Austin Baptist Church, and they've converted their parking lot. They've set up sites. They've got about 10 sites here, all of them with water, electricity and sewage hookup. So for one night it's fine. The buildings here do give you the sense of a time having stopped still long ago. It really is an interesting glimpse into America of maybe 100 years ago. They have a little museum here which I visited yesterday. A very nice older lady with lots of answers, some of which were accurate, some not. She said the population here was 100, but according to the brochure that I picked up, it says 300. So who knows? The big city it ain't. Some of the buildings have been identified as national monuments, and some of the houses, a lot of the houses, well, quite clearly much older, have been exceptionally well maintained. This building's the old courthouse, which is now a tourist information center, and next door to it is the county sheriff's department. I believe it's still used for law enforcement, but I'm not certain. As I said, while some of the buildings are exceptionally well maintained, some of them are clearly falling into disrepair. I don't think they have the resources to maintain everything. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this walk with me down a little bit of Americana. That's pretty much the end of this video. Thanks for watching, as always. My next video will be once again from one of the national parks. So I will see you then. All the best.